Place linear Wetdec in the desired position and carefully mark around the edge. Remove linear Wetdec and carefully cut along the line you've marked. Remove floorboards from the marked area. Measure and mark to the centre line of the next joist. Mark and remove floorboards. Check that joists are level. Install battens 18 mm from the top of the exposed joists. Cut and fit 18 mm plywood into the joist spaces. This will provide a completely level base for the linear Wetdec to be fixed. Place the linear Wetdec into the cutout and position the drainage trough. Check for the best position to place waste and trap. It is essential to check the flow rate of the shower being used to ensure the required waste and traps are fitted. Additional traps can be fitted at this point. Drill a 50 mm hole in the required position on the scratch line of the drainage trough, allowing the pilot drill of the hole cutter to drill through the 18 mm plywood below. This will give the exact position for the waste and trap. Remove the required 18 mm plywood from the battens and connect the waste and trap using 40 mm solvent weld waste pipe, ensuring the top of the trap is flush with the top of the 18 mm plywood. Replace the 18 mm plywood and securely fix to battens. Place the linear Wetdec back into position and check waste and trap for alignment. Mark, drill and countersink for the 60 mm fixing screws. If required, drill and fix at any point on the linear Wetdec to ensure it's flat and level. Place drainage trough into the linear Wetdec and mark through pre-drilled holes. Remove the drainage trough and drill 12 3.5 mm holes as marked. Replace the drainage trough and use 12 posi screws to fix. Seal and screw the waste top through the 50 mm hole in the drainage trough and tighten using the key provided. Fill in remaining floor space with floorboards. If the floorboards are 18 mm, the remaining floor will need to be ply-lined with 4 mm plywood. The linear Wetdec installation is now complete and requires waterproofing. It is essential to prime all surfaces prior to the application of the tile-safe membrane. Apply the primer evenly by brush or roller, working into the substrate. Do not over-apply primer. It should not pool or run. To make a corner joint, cut a length of tile-safe reinforcing tape 300 mm long. Crease in half along the length of the tape. Release paper outermost. Cut through the tile-safe reinforcing tape at midpoint position along the solid line. With the sharp blade, lightly cut the release paper along the dotted line, taking care not to cut through the tape itself. Fold the tape in quarters and begin to detail as shown. Press the folded tape to one of the walls tight into the corner and press home, gradually removing the release paper. Follow the same procedure for the opposite wall, from one of the folded up sections, and press down onto the horizontal. Before pressing the last piece down, peel back the release film from the previously applied horizontal section so that an overlap bond is achieved. Tile-safe reinforcing tape is applied centrally along all water-wall and water-floor junctions. All overlaps to be 50 mm. Mark out the position of the tile-safe membrane. Apply tile-safe reinforcing tape at the anticipated butt joint positions of the main membrane. The application of the reinforcing tape should be phased to ensure correct alignment as the application of the main membrane progresses. Use a chalk line if necessary to get an accurate gauge. All detailing should be carefully rolled to ensure full adhesion, paying particular attention to the overlaps. Fully inspect the tile-safe reinforcing tape prior to the application of the tile-safe membrane. Tile-safe membrane should be butt-jointed rather than overlapped. All butt joints in the membrane should be positioned over the previously applied reinforcing tape, ensuring a gap of 2 to 3 mm is maintained, which should be subsequently filled by the tile-safe jointing compound. Walls are waterproofed with MAPI WPS, a liquid-applied waterproofing. Apply 3 coats with a roller and allow to cure for about 1 hour between each coat. Using an applicator gun, apply tile-safe jointing compound at butt joints, pipe entries, and at all water-wall and water-floor interfaces. The compound should be gunned into the previously formed 2 to 3 mm channels, which should be fully filled. Tooling can be carried out with a profiling tool within approximately 10 minutes of application. Use the spacers provided to adjust the height of the stainless steel removable grid frame to finish approximately 1 mm below the tile. The plastic release film is left in place until immediately prior to tiling. Fix the stainless steel tile edge strips applied with the tile adhesive to the edge of the tiles on the floor along the tapered edge of the deck. Application of tiles to tilesafe is essentially the same as normal tiling. Silicone sealant will react with tilesafe. If silicone sealant is to be used, ensure it does not come into direct contact with tilesafe.